Hello everyone, my name is Milton. Today I'm going to be presenting Deinstitutionalization, Community Corrections, and Diversion in Textbook 1, Chapter 14. And this chapter usually it focuses on the juvenile court and how it was funded upon the philosophy of protection and rehabilitation, and its foremost goal has been preventing juvenile offenders from becoming adult criminals. Recently, there's been criticism of the whole juvenile system. Deinstitutionalization, basically what it means is simply the means of avoiding the placement of juveniles in correctional institutions. It is most likely to be pursued by non-serious juvenile offenders. And a man named Jerome Stumpfhauser, he has been quoted of saying, "A worse social learning program could not be designed, which is to remove the youth from the very society to which he must learn to adapt, expose him to hundreds of criminal peer models and to criminal behaviors he hasn't learned yet, and use punishment as the only learning principle to change behavior." And this section of the chapter talks about alternative ways of fixing juvenile delinquency problems, and some alternatives are institutional programming, which is using positive rewards in an institutionalized environment and positive role modeling along with positive reinforcement; behavioral family contracting, which is teaching and positively reinforcing non-delinquent behavior in the family setting; 3. Social skills training, teaching the skills of a problem solving and relating to authority figures; probation programming, written agreements between juvenile probation officers and juveniles on probation regarding acceptable and unacceptable behaviors and the attendant rewards and punishments for each. 5. Social programming, using social learning techniques in the school to emphasize rewards for non-delinquent behavior rather than focusing all attention on punishing rule-violating behavior. 6. Clinical behavior theory, training youth in techniques of self-control, anger control, and dealing with stress. 7. Employment skills training, providing youth with necessary job skills and the skills necessary for finding, applying, and interviewing for employment. 8. Group treatment homes, group homes using teaching parents as models, doing chores with emphasis upon positive reinforcement. 9. Community change and prevention, instead of waiting for delinquency to occur and then making arrests, using positive reinforcement and social learning techniques in parks, housing, projects, etc. to acknowledge, reward, and encourage conforming behavior. As you can see, positive reinforcement is big on avoiding and the continuing of juvenile delinquency. William Sheridan estimated that approximately 30% of all inmates in juvenile correctional institutions were there for committing status offenses, which is basically just acts that would not have been illegal if adults had committed them. This in turn leads to more delinquent behavior in the future for juveniles. House arrest is a form of deinstitutionalization. Youth are under strict supervision by parents and probation office, required to go to school, and often require them to wear anklets, and in-home programs just as effective as confinement, and they cost 1/3 as much as locking away a juvenile. And last but not least, diversion. Diversion refers to attempts to divert or channel out youthful offenders from the juvenile justice system. Examples of this would be programs like Scared Straight and other forms of, like, for example, the DARE program, even though there's been studies that it's not that effective. Just probably talks at school where they show how gang life is negative and how it only leads to death, violence, and substance abuse, etc. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much.